to my computer and got the computer to just keep making boundaries, keep making smaller and smaller triangles, it would continue to do this to infinity until it heated up, melt down, and I'd have to go and get myself a new computer. But assuming it didn't do that, it would keep making smaller and smaller triangles to infinity. And I could give it a code so that every 5 iteration or 6 iteration, it would zoom in so you could see it again, and then starts making more triangles, and then zoom in, and then so on to infinity. However, although I can place an infinite amount of triangles, I will never exceed the first boundary I made for myself. Never. I just showed you how infinity fits in a finite space, or a so-called finite space. Because you can divide to infinity within the circumference of a circle. What does that mean? Why is that important? What does that do to your life? What does that do to the way we do things on this planet? Well, let me give you an example, even if it's just for physics. We built faster and faster and faster accelerators that cost billions of dollars to build, to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Now we're at like millions of times smaller than an atom particle, actually. And we're building accelerators now in Geneva, in Switzerland, that are costing $300 billion, I believe. 5 countries had to get together to build it, right? To get even smaller particles. Well, if we understand this principle, we would understand very quickly that you can keep building larger accelerators and you can keep getting smaller and smaller particles. You can always keep dividing. So we would give up the search for some fundamental particle and that's going to end the search for particles, and we would start to understand that what we need to discover is the dynamics of the division, the dynamics of the quantization. You understand? Not, how far we can go into infinity. Just so that some physicist can put his name on it and get a Nobel Prize for a new particle. But further, what does it mean to you? It means that if this is true, every one of your atoms, every one of your cells, has infinite potential in it, has infinite connectivity to everything else. That each one of your atoms is a mini black hole. Because if there is infinite amount of particles in it that can be divided, that means it has infinite mass. Most people say, I can't envision infinity. If, it's a good point. You might have to take a lot of coffee in the morning.